Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Always, and welcome back to Stoneblock 3. In the last episode, I believe... Okay, so it's been a little bit, but in the last episode, I believe we were working with thermal expansion, and getting a bunch of the machines, and basically doing all of the quests that we could. And we just have two more things to do in that chapter. We're going to do one of them today, but the other one is going to require us to get to the nether area, and that's still a ways off. So, yeah, it's been a little bit since we've played this series. I jumped back into it, and I did a bunch of work. So inventory is sorted, and we're ready to start letting all of this stuff go into the system, with a couple exceptions. We have way too much lapis. We are full up on lapis, and I did a little bit of work. So this thing is really spinning fast. I added another set of gears, and basically I just needed to speed up the fan because I was having some ore make it through. I think what was happening was that if this sets like it does, and we get enough stuff being crushed through, enough gravel crushed, it kind of piles up, and we get a bunch of ore stacked together, which doesn't have enough time to smelt. So I sped up the fan so that we could extend the reach of the flames, and hopefully that fixes it. But we'll see. So what we're going to do today is we're going to seal up all of this, and I do apologize because I feel like I'm going to cough in a second. I've still a little sick, so if you watched the Peglin episode, you'll know that I hadn't been recording for a while because I got sick, and I'm still a little bit sick, but yeah. So we're gonna seal this all up today. We are going to start letting all of this stuff go into our refined storage system, which is hooked up to our drawer system, which is all nice and neat. I still have some slots open that we can use. Don't know what all we're going to use them for, but we have the space. And then today, the big plan that I want to work on is I want to get Autocrafting available to us. Don't know how much we're going to actually use it, but I'd like to start getting that for a couple of reasons. We're going to do some fancy things, but I say fancy things. We're going to do some stylistic things. You might notice that I took the top of the drawer system off. That was because it was awful. It was too high. Excuse me. So, yeah, let's go ahead, and first things first, let's go ahead and finish up, yeah, I'll clean up the rest of the stone and whatnot later. But let's go ahead and finish up the thermal expansion. So we need to make the redstone flux cell, which requires cured rubber. Cured rubber requires vines and water bucket or dandelions. Now we need 4. We have enough. So let's just go ahead and put those in there. I need water bucket, and we will... Actually, nah, let's just use this. So we need to get rubber. By the way, I got everything spinning correctly. So this belt is spinning correctly because there's a gearbox right down here. And this is actually a 3-block wide long. You can kind of see it through the chest there. So... yeah, I'm gonna hide a lot of that stuff. We're gonna get rid of this wire as well, and there's gonna be another drawer there that we can use. That is other plans. So let's go ahead and get some rubber, and this is going to require... I really need a better water source. I wish that we had like sinks or something we could use. You know what? We have infinite supplies of especially iron now. So let's just grab 2 more buckets. Why not? 3 buckets is pretty good. And we can go ahead and get... excuse me. I'm gonna try not to cough. I'm really I thought I was better today, but apparently talking a lot makes me cough. So let's go ahead and get the rest of the rubber that we need, and then we need to cure it. And then we need, what else are we going to need? So we need the, well, we need this stuff. I already had everything, so this would be nice and easy. So if we want to make the crafter, we're going to want to make the pattern grid first, which means we're going to need to make a grid. So we're going to need some cores. I'm going to have to get everything set up for that, and it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But there is the redstone flux cell. So let's get that reward. We get some chocolate cake. Cool. 8 chocolate cakes. Are these placeable things? Yes. Alright, we'll eat those later. So the last thing we need to make with all of that thermal series is the magma crucible, which requires magma bricks or nether bricks. So that's something we don't have access to yet. So we'll wait on that. But let's go ahead and start working on getting this pattern grid, and then to a lesser extent crafters. So the pattern grid is going to require machine casing, which should be pretty easy. Let's just do this. And we can get some quartz enriched iron pretty easily. And we can make this. Then we are going to need one advanced processor. We're going to also need one of these patterns. But we're going to need an advanced processor, construction, destruction, and 2 improved. So that is 2 of these. So 2 of those, 2 of those, and 1 of those. We need 2 gold, a diamond, 5 redstone, iron times 2, silicon, and binder. And I gotta look and see. Binder is first. Binder, silicon, redstone. Okay, so that should be pretty easy. Let's go ahead and get this started, and it can start processing. Eventually, we will have this somewhere that is a little bit more easy to work with. And we'll just go ahead, put those all in there. We'll come back for that. Now, one other thing that we need to do, we need to deal with the lapis problem. So, I don't know if we have any upgrades. We have a void upgrade. I think we'll end up using that. We also have a redstone upgrade. So what we want is we want upgrades from storage drawers, or functional storage as it's now called. And these things are, so we can't get netherite, but we could get diamond. Let's just go to gold. So we're going to need a drawer. Let's go ahead and make a drawer, or a few. We're gonna want a few copper. We're gonna want a few of these anyways. Let's go ahead and do 2. Let's just do 4, and then we'll make more of those. Okay, so copper requires copper blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we can get 4 copper upgrades. And we should be able to get, if we have more chests, let's just do 4 now. We can do it. Why not? However many gold upgrades we can make, which is 2. Okay, so with that, we can go ahead and upgrade some stuff. So first thing we're going to upgrade is the lapis. That's not what I meant to do. We need to configure, take that out, And let's just do it this way. So we'll get a void and a upgrade. So the void will, if the drawer is full, it will just delete the items. But we went from being able to store 512 to 8,200 with just a gold upgrade. Not too bad. So now we should be able to, and I just want to see, that looks pretty much like what we want it to be. So we're going to lose some of our materials. Let's go ahead and put some stuff like down in a chest or something for a second. So I did have a copper upgrade in here. We'll need to get a lot of upgrades eventually, just because of the nature of how our storage is going to be. We're going to need a lot of void upgrades because we're going to, here relatively soon, the reason I have the clay like I do is because we're going to pretty much just use all of the clay that we get to make botany pots. And then we're going to have a network of botany pots over this direction, bringing all the items in, of course. And that is going to allow us to get all of the resources we need for food stuff. And we're going to eventually want them to stop producing. So we'll have it voided. But let's go ahead and grab all of this stuff. And then I can just double click this. We could also just break this. I think that'll work. Let's just break that. It's going to be terrible. I'm going to pick up a lot of it. We're also going to want to break this. Now, I believe anything that goes in here, it is going to be really slow. We're going to want to pick up as much of this stuff as we can. We also don't want the andesite funnel. It's not the end of the world if some of this stuff goes in there, but we're not going to want it to. Yeah, we're going to need to get some upgrades for that as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and just throw this stuff in here because we don't really need to worry about it. So I have to remember refined storage. Speed and stack upgrades are what we need. I think a stack upgrade is going to be the best. That's going to require some improved processors. We'll get that kind of stuff set up here soon. And we're going to need to move this system at some point because we're going to want to get processors pretty easily. And that is something I'm going to have to figure out where exactly we're going to put. But that is a problem. Oh, right. Wait, I was... Redstone is last. Oh, okay. I messed up. Oh, well. Not the end of the world. And... just go ahead and grab all these. Alright, so now we can smelt them, correct? Yes. Okay, so I'll have to figure out where I want to put that automation. What I'll probably end up doing is just running a wire over here and calling it good. And then we can set up some autocrafting with that. So we'll figure that out at some point. But for now, let's just go ahead and start working again on this pattern grid. So the pattern grid, hopefully, with what all we need to make to get there, is going to be good enough. So we need glass. Are we out of glass? I think I made more. Yes, I did make more. Okay. So let's see. Let's throw these in here. And we're going to want one construction core one destruction core. And that should be enough to make the grid once we get a little bit more of the quartz enriched iron. That was the wrong button. Let's just do that. It's easier. Alright, so there is the grid, which should complete that quest. Cool. I'm going to break this, and that should give us the crafting grid. Crafting grid goes down here, and we'll put the other grid, once we've made it, on top. So now we have the ability to make patterns and craft patterns. So let's go ahead and do just that. So we're going to want a blank pattern. Where is it? There it is. And I think the first thing with the blank pattern that we're going to teach this to make is the quartz enriched iron. So we can't do anything with that yet, which is unfortunate, but we're also going to just go ahead and make another pattern that we're going to teach it how to make patterns. So now we can make patterns once we have a crafter. Wasn't expecting to get uranium. Let's just put that there. That's fine. What else did we get? We got a battery, a nitro battery. It's kind of cool. Okay. So we have a pattern for patterns, and we have a pattern for quartz enriched iron. Now, the next thing we need to make is a crafter. Crafter requires a bunch of processors. So here's what I'm going to do. Real quick, I'm going to do a few things. So one thing that we can do is we can grab, I have a few cables, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually run a cable underneath here. We're going to break this guy. I'm going to put a cable there, external storage. Actually, do we need, oops, that's actually fine. We're going to put cable like that, and we are going to run the cable underneath. This is where I would love to have a little bit of stone. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to run a cable all the way up here, because this is where we are going to actively put all of the crafters. So I'm going to do a little bit of prep work off camera real quick, and I'll come back once I have basically all of the processors that we need to make the pattern grid, or not the pattern grid, we already made that, to make the crafter. And then I'm also going to clean up everything here, and let's just make sure that is good. Cool. We might still want to do something with putting an import speed upgrade, but I think it'll honestly be fine. So I'm going to clean this all up and make all those processors, and we'll be back once I have that done. Alright, so things are cleaned up. I think I want to put a trap door here, and then I need to get another drawer. But all of this side is glassed up and looks nice and neat, and everything is great. I'm really happy that that's all kind of finished and not have to worry about falling into everything. So I picked up a machine here. We'll get to that in a second. And in fact, I'm going to break this for a moment so that we can move that. Okay, so let's get to work. So I have enough stuff. I have enough stuff for 2 sets of crafters. Now, crafters require construction core and destruction core. We're also going to want a importer. So we're going to need an extra destruction core. So let's get 3 of these. And 2 of these. And then we're going to make a bunch of quartz. That's good. So that we can make 2 of these and 2 crafters. Just throw all that in there. So 1 and 2. And then we're also going to want to make an importer. Importer is a cable, which we do need to make, and a destruction core and an improved processor. Pretty straightforward and easy. I'm surprised that wasn't anything, but let's go ahead and get some rewards. So we got a steel paxel and terrasteel. That's all right. We got 4 terrasteel. That is some high-level Botania stuff. I will be honest, I hope we can get this from chickens. Doesn't look like we can get it from chickens this time. That is unfortunate. How much terrasteel are we actually going to have to make, though? I hope not a lot. Because this stuff is really annoying to make. It looks like it's used to get some stuff. But we might be able to get away with not having to do too much. Guys spirit ingots are not used. That is great. Cool. So let's go ahead and get this stuff started. What was the other thing we got? Oh, the terrasteel. We got the steel paxel and the terrasteel. I got distracted. All right, so I have a wire up here. That's not how I want that to be. So let's just pop up here. Let's turn our magnet on and hopefully, there it is. Okay. So I don't want to use the magnet too much because of the whole, you know, wrecking everything over there. How do we want to do this? If I do it like that, that's fine. I'd really like it to be facing a different direction, but I guess we'll have to do it this way then. So let's see. I don't know that we're going to need all that much, so let's just not worry about it. I wanted it to be facing upwards. Apparently that's not going to happen. Oh well. So this is a crafter. We put our crafting patterns in there, and now because it is hooked up to the system through this wire, it goes on the back and then goes underneath, hits that and then goes through. We should have the ability to go to patterns and craft them. Let's craft 10 of them, and it tells us we have everything that we need. It's also going to craft up the enriched, the quartz enriched iron because we didn't have enough of that. And now we have automation. So what we're going to immediately do is I want to teach the system how to make cables, and then I also want to get a processing. So processing recipes are a little bit different. We are going to tell it that sand turns into glass. And that is what the redstone furnace is for. So we're going to put this guy, let's see, I guess right here for now. You know what, no, let's do this. Let's put the redstone furnace right here. And then we're going to put a crafter. Right here into it, and we're gonna have to configure this so that the back is an input and the top is an output, and we're gonna put the importer there. So the whole idea with this is if we put glass in here, and we can put the cables up there, So we have, what? 23 glass. So we have no glass in the system. We look in here and we type glass. There's none. Let's make 10. We have 10 sand. And if we just give it a second, we can actually sneak and see that this is running. It has sand in it. And it's turning into glass. That is processing. So this is going to produce glass now. So if we ever run out of glass making cables or something, it's not a big deal. We don't have to worry about it. So what we can do is, my plan is we're going to have this lined all up with crafters eventually. There is one more thing that we're going to want. Fluid grids are kind of neat, but I don't know if we're going to use fluid stuff all that much. We'll see. But there is another thing that we're going to need, which is a, where is it? Crafting manager, I believe, is something that'll be useful. But we can teach the system how to do all sorts of stuff. And now we should have like 33 glass. Yep. So that is going to be really important. Now the next thing that we really need to work on is getting things like the storage parts automated, and mostly the processor. So the basic processor, silicon, smelting up Certus quartz or quartz. We can get the processor binder we can make pretty easily, but making string from other things. And then one big thing that we're going to want is this. We're going to want to teach the system how to make a hopper botany pot. And so in order to do this, we need terracotta. So terracotta is a processing recipe. We'll make that. We are going to need a hopper. We are going to need to teach it how to make chests. Did that? Okay. It used a normal chest. That's good. Actually, you know what? Let's clear this. So if you ever mess up, you can clear it by just doing that. Shift right clicking in the air with a pattern, and it will unmake it. But let's use the other recipe and get hoppers, and then we're going to want flower pot, bricks, and it is smart enough to switch to processing when need be, and then hopper botany pot. So now we should be able to throw that in there, and the rest of these in there. And if I told it to make, let's say, I don't know, 5. Let's make 5 to begin with. It has all the ingredients. We tell it to start, and it's going to jump into action. It's going to start making all the clay that we need, smelting all of that up, and we'll get the hopper botany pot. So what I can do now is I can start growing a bunch of crops, storing them all here as need be. But we make them over there. We'll do all that kind of stuff. Bring it in using the conveyor belts from Create, and it'll all be grand. So that's the plan with that. The other thing that we're going to want to do, like I said, we're going to want to start getting automation. Now, what I'll probably end up having to do is eventually the power will be kind of off in this direction. And I don't know if we're going to move the controller all that much or anything like that. But we're going to want to run wires probably up above these rooms and run some wires over here. I might end up moving this whole system over here so that we can then do some automation. Potentially, we might want to thicken this wall a little bit. I might do that, and then we'll just be able to automate the processors. That'll be great. We will. I don't know what all we'll need to do, but we'll be able to automate anything we need to. We got an absorption hopper, jumbo tank, and a random reward, which is a living wood twig. It's trying to tell me to get into Britannia. I don't want to do Britannia right now. So, yeah, basically, we need to start working on getting machines. I think one of the next things I want to work towards is not only just autocrafting and getting all of that kind of stuff set up with the refined storage, but I want to work on wireless redstone. And that seems early, but Flex Networks is a fantastic mod that is going to allow us to have a machine room somewhere else, maybe over here. And if we run wires everywhere, like, we can have machines maybe here. But it doesn't matter where our power is because we can just transfer things wirelessly. The problem with that is we need bedrock. So I need to dig down. So the big gist of everything right now is we need to dig. And so I think I'm going to do a little bit of that off camera. I don't know if we'll get to the point where we can do redstone flux, flux dust, flux networks. But yeah, we probably will want at some point to get some auto hammers set up to do a cobbleworks. We'll probably do it in here as well, and just have that going. Not sure how I want that to go though, because these drawers will fill up eventually. But we do want to have a steady supply of sand, mostly just sand. Maybe just sand and glass. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But, yeah, that is, by the way, we have 5 hopper botany pots. Automatically crafted. It is fantastic. So, that is going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Automation is fantastic. We do have a little bit of materials over here that we can use. But automation is fantastic, and having autocrafters is going to make things a little bit easier going forward. We can start worrying about, getting materials. We can worry about getting the input materials more than worrying about what we're going to do with them. So, I do need to kind of figure out where we need to head, what we need to get into, look at the quests and whatnot. But we'll get there. So that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!